Good day, everyone. My name is MicheleDClark, and I am your favorite small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown His grace and His mercy, and He has saved me from some life threatening things. Now, yes, today is a super sensational Sunday on purpose because I said so, and you have the power and authority to say so too. So, welcome to Great at 8, where mindset matters. And this is a special edition, you all. I know all week. Well, first of all, I just want to say welcome to those of you who are watching for the first time, and definitely welcome back to all of you who are repeat supporters. So, I wanted to come on today. This is a special edition. I know all week, starting back from Monday until yesterday, we talked about how the mind works. We broke it down and mapped out our cognitions. We got a chance to talk about how we view events makes the difference in how we feel and how we act. So, what I'd like to do today is I want to be very, very transparent with each and every one of you. So, I came to you today with no lashes, no foundation, no lipstick, no hair extensions. And I'm coming to you today like this because I want to be vulnerable with you. So, no false pretenses. Not to say that if you wear any lashes, which I do at times, of course, or the extensions or makeup or any of those types of things, doesn't mean it's false pretenses. But I wanted to come to you as raw as I possibly could because I want to share with you something that some people who know me or maybe have heard my story, they know these things. But I know that there are some people who have just started following me or maybe have followed me and didn't get a chance to hear my why. They didn't get a chance to know why I birthed Lift Life Coaching Solutions first, and then why I birthed Lift Nation. So I wanted to come on and let you know my backstory. So, yes, you all know that I have a bachelor's in psychology and master's in social work, but I also got my PhD from the School of Hard Knocks because I've been through some things. And it's because of those things that I've been able to be the Harriet Tubman of authenticity, empowering women to break the chains of stereotypes, shatter those glass ceilings, and shed the baggage of past traumas and tragedies in order to live more triumphantly. So I want to tell you about my backstory, about some of the things that I've experienced when I talk about how God has saved me from some life-threatening things. So I want to start off when I was 14 years old. You know, we're teenagers, we think that we're invincible. We think that nothing can harm us, that we'll live forever, that we'll be all good. And I felt the same way. I did the same things as most teenagers would do, including making some bad decisions. And so what happened was I met a 19-year-old mutual friend, and I went to visit him with my best friend at the time. And while visiting him at the apartment, his mom was there in the other room, and he invited me to come to his bedroom to see something. And so when I went to go see what he wanted, things quickly progressed further than I ever thought it could. But when it was all said and done, despite the fact that I said no, he said yes. As a result of that, not only did he take my virginity, but he also stole my self identity. You see, I didn't know who I was anymore because I'd always imagined that I would be pure when I walked down the aisleway. I always thought that I had a certain concept of who I was. based on that, because my parents used to always preach, wait until you get married. Wait till you get married before you have sex. Wait till you get married before you have kids. Wait till you get married before doing a lot of things, right? Save yourself. I wasn't saved anymore in my mind. I was dirty, tainted, just defiled. I wasn't worthy of marriage. I wasn't worthy of being treated well. And sometimes, you all, I didn't even think I was worthy of living. There were times that I seriously contemplated not being here anymore because I didn't feel I was worthy. I didn't feel that I held value anymore. So I allowed people to treat me any old kind of way, and I just took it and accepted it. I was taken advantage of on multiple occasions in multiple different stages in my life, even as an adult, because I no longer felt that I had the right to speak and say the things that I should have deserved, because I didn't feel like I deserved it anymore. So I ended up staying in relationships that turned bad, sour, way too long. And I sabotaged good relationships. Good relationships. Because again, the way I felt about myself. You see, what happened is, I know we talked about earlier in the week, we talked about the cognitive mapping, meaning mapping our cognitions. Cognitive mapping is a little bit something different, but mapping our cognitions, where we talked about how an event happens, and then we have thoughts about that event that spills over into how we feel, and then how we behave, react, act, whatever. So when I was raped, I had thoughts and feelings about the event and thoughts and feelings about myself because of the event. And so based on that, schemas, 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 that is the groupings. We talked about that earlier. See, all of that was for a reason. I want to come and encourage somebody today, because I know at some point someone has experienced something that's keeping them, holding them bondage. And it's because of the schemas that we have of ourselves. It's the collection of thoughts that are grouped together, a shortcut process that sometimes works for good, but the pendulum swings both ways. And sometimes it works against us. So in those moments, it was working against me. Because when good relationships came across my plate, I didn't feel as if I deserved them. And one way or another, I would sabotage those relationships. And the ones that were horrible, where guys treated me horribly, I either stayed in them too long or just allowed them to transiently dissipate. And so it was because of the schemas, because of how I thought about myself, the concept, the construct of I had of myself, of not being worthy. So I had to make some changes. I had to do something differently. And yes, I got counseling. Yes, there were a series of things that I did in order to turn over a new stone, if you will. But let me tell you something. There were a lot of traumas that I experienced in the meantime, in the middle of it, including having to yell out to my daughter when she was 6 years old to save me from a violent situation. That moment, you all, that moment when I had to yell out to my daughter to dial 911 to save me, I knew this ain't it. Something's got to give. I can't keep meandering through life, one trauma after the next trauma after the next trauma, and act as if it's just the way it is. Because that's how I felt. I felt like, well, this is just the way it is. That's my lot in life, the straw that I drew, the hand that I was dealt. But as we know, as I found out, if we're using an analogy of cards, yes, you may be dealt a hand, but guess what? There's a whole deck, and it's not stacked against you. It wasn't stacked against me. I had to learn. I had to reinforce, use the positive self-talk, use the strategies that I learned from therapy, from coaching, from other experiences that were trying to show me that, yes, I was worthy, instead of discarding them by the wayside. Because see, what happens is our schemas can be so strong, our construct of ourselves can be so strong that when there's opposing information, something that opposes what we think and believe, we don't believe it, even if it's the truth. We're more willing to believe the lie that's going to hurt us, than the truth, than to face the truth. Because sometimes, you all, just being transparent and honest with you as I have been, sometimes it can be easier to just put your head in the sand, to just pretend like we have no control. But at the end of the day, no, we can't stop those negative automatic thoughts from happening, as we talked about in our series earlier this week. But we can decide how long we're going to sit in those lies, those false narratives that we're feeding ourselves based off of the traumas and tragedies that we've experienced. I just thought of something. I heard this story once. If you have a $20 bill, imagine that $20 bill. Imagine it being crisp right out of the vending machine, right out of the machine where you go to take the money out. You know what I'm trying to say. Imagine it's coming fresh, crispy, or you're going to the bank and you're getting it fresh from the teller. Crispy $20 bill. Let's say you put it in your pocket and then you sit down. It gets a little crinkled. And then you forgot it's in your pants. You put it in the washing machine. Now it's washed. And then you take it out. And you may have to crumple it up and put it somewhere. Maybe even dropped it on the ground. Maybe somebody stepped on it as they walked past while it was on the ground. And then you pick it back up and you open it up. And even though it's faded, crinkled, dirty, stepped on, beaten up, overtrodden, if you go into a store and hand them that $20 bill, it will still get you $20 worth of goods because it hasn't lost its value. And I'm here to tell you today that no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've experienced, no matter what has beaten you up, knocked you down, lied on you, cheated, overtrodden, cast aside, written off, no matter what has happened in your past, no matter what traumas or tragedies that you've experienced, you still hold your value. You still hold your value. I don't know who needed to hear this today, but I hope that this can penetrate your heart, because I understand how it is being on this side of the table of therapeutic intervention. I understand what it's like. And I say this side, I'm talking about the side of being a client. I understand what it means to be on that side. And you're hearing the counselor, the therapist, the coach, the pastor, the elders, whatever, your parents, people who love you, telling you how good you are, how valuable you are. And it seems like it's just like, it just hits you and just falls down around you. And it can't reach inside because our cognitions, because they're working against us. Our schemas are working against us. Our constructs are working against us. What we have come to believe of ourselves, the false narratives that are playing over and over and over and over and over and over in our minds, the lies, the false lies that we're believing about ourselves, negative, is impeding our ability to be able to really see the truth, to be able to allow the truth to come inside. So I don't know what that's going to take for you if you're finding yourself in that situation. If when I said to you that you were just like that $20 bill, that you still hold your value, if when you heard me say that and it didn't resonate with you, if it didn't shake you or shift you or make you feel a certain way about yourself that maybe you haven't felt in years, if you didn't feel that shift and you're still holding on to those false negative narratives, I can help you. That's what I do. I am the mindset management coach for professional women. And it doesn't matter how professional you are. It didn't matter how professional I was. I'm telling you all, it took me almost 25 years from the infraction, from the trauma, the initial trauma, to find my road to healing. It took me 2 strokes, stage 2 breast cancer, later, after the rape, and after having to dial 911, call out to my daughter to dial 911. It took all of those things in order for me to wake up, in order for me to realize that that was not my destiny, that I deserved better. I implore you, don't wait until the last straw. Don't wait until the last straw to get help, to be empowered, to realize your value, your worth, who you are and whose you are. I can help you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my link up here where you can book it's no cost at all, free conversation with me at bit.ly/mindset with Michele. And that's Michele with 1 L, because no, you don't need 2 L's when one does the same. So bit.ly/mindset with Michele, and have a conversation with me. Let's see how I can go to work for you. Because I'm telling you, if you're a professional woman and you have these traumas and tragedies still plaguing you, still locked in the closet, still holding you hostage, holding you bondage, every single day may be a struggle to put on that mask, to grin and bear it, to act like everything is okay, to say super fantastic when it really isn't super fantastic, to do your job and help other people, and you're not really helped yourself. You haven't started your own road to recovery. I promise you, when you hit that road to recovery, being able to help the next person, whether you are a counselor, therapist, coach, whatever, or if you're a teacher, a mommy, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, an economist, it doesn't matter what your walk of life is. When you start to see, when you start to have that vision of who you really are, it's almost like now, like having the secret code to the matrix and unlocking the truth and being able to see life for what it really is. And when you see that light, you become the light. My affirmation every day is that I am the light, because the light shines through me. in order to help somebody else, be that beacon of light for someone else who is lost and someone else who is looking to find their way back to the truth of the valuable person that they are. And if that is you, reach out to me. You may not be ready. You may say, Michelle, I'm not ready for that conversation yet. That's okay. You know what? Shoot me an email. Very passive. Just shoot me an email and let's start the conversation that way. That's okay too. If you say to yourself, you know what? I've already started my road to recovery. I've already started my healing journey. And I want to be able to network with other women who are positive, a community that's going to embrace me, a sisterhood, a real sisterhood. Then this Saturday, we're going to have Lift Nation Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on out. We're going to do a mini mindset training. Then we're going to talk about how Lift Nation is going to go to work for you personally and for you professionally. And then we're going to have a networking opportunity where you can meet other positive women, because I'm telling you, I'm sure you've probably already heard the law of averages, that you become the average of the 5 people with whom you associate, the law of association. So associate with people who are vibrating on a higher frequency. Join me there. All you have to do is go to bit.ly/liftnationfreedom@1. That's it. It's free. It's going to be in the Zoom room. So we'll actually be able to connect, and I'll be able to see you. And I'll be able to see you. So I definitely hope to see you there this Saturday. I look forward to breaking bread with you. And again, we'll be here tomorrow, same time. I know I went over my 20 minutes, and I thank you all so much. I see you viewers out there. Thank you so much for hanging back for 2 extra minutes. So I thank you so much for listening to my story. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you all tomorrow for our next Great at 8 Mindset Matters at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. In the meantime, my name is MicheleDClark, and I am the Mindset Management Coach for professional women with Lift Nation, where we empower you to live inspired, free, and transformed. Take care. God bless.